Am I audible?
Yes, Sajin, you are audible.
Yes, into the chat box if I'm audible. Thank you. We will start the session by 7:05. Just letting a few more people to join in. 4 more minutes remaining. We'll just start by 7:05. I think we'll get to start now. Thank you all for registering and attending the 7-day online faculty development program on outcome-based education, OBE, in computer science discipline, which is being conducted by Marian College Kuttikkanam Autonomous. This is in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, KSHEC. About this FDP, this is a 7-day program with the live session with the same timing from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. This is actually our 4th day of the FDP. We started on Friday. Now, my name is Sajin Jacob George. I work as Global Relations Manager for IPSR Solutions Limited. I'll be the moderator for this event. Today's session will be split into two, actually. We have 2 sessions. And the first session will be by Dr. Suresh Namboothiri. He will be taking on the topic of OBE, the underlying threats. And then the second session will be the faculty members of Marian College Kuttikkanam. And their topic will be on case studies of OBE implementation. Coming back to the first session by Dr. Suresh Namboothiri, his topic will be on OBE, the underlying threats. A small description about Dr. Suresh Namboothiri. Dr. Suresh Namboothiri is a product design specialist in automobiles, consumer electronics, home appliances, computers, and telecommunication, and he's got over 30 years of industry experience. When he resigned from the corporate world to contribute to Indian engineering education, he was Chief Operating Officer with TATA Motors. He was part of the team that developed the first Indian car, the Indica. He has designed and developed over 200 products, including washing machines, refrigerators, desktop and laptop computers, smartphones, and accessories. Many of them for the first time in India. He has traveled to over 22 countries and closely worked with engineers from over 8 countries. He is highly sought after professional interviewer for senior positions in engineering and management for Indian and MNCs operating in India. The insights that he gathered from interviewing over 12,000 candidates made him investigate and research the state of Indian education, particularly in engineering education. The finding eventually led him to associate with a global team of 158 industry professionals and 2 Ivy League universities for a pan-India and ethnographic survey of unearthing root causes and finding sustainable solutions. Currently, Dr. Suresh Namboothiri is working as the Director of SPO Technologies, Pune. He has served as a resource person for faculty development programs in the topic of outcome-based education, critical and creative thinking, etc. He is currently collaborating with HEIs and like IITs and NITs and other premier institutions for improving the employability of students. He is a BTech Mechanical, MTech Production Engineering, and MBA New Product Development. His PhD research subject is cognitive rigor requirement for startup and entrepreneurship. That's the description for Dr. Suresh Namboothiri. Over to you, sir. Sir, you're on mute.
Audible now? Am I audible now?
Yes.
I think you're still on mute, so we can't hear you.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Okay. First of all, good evening to everyone, and thanks for this opportunity to speak to you all this evening on OBE's underlying threads. And first, I thank Higher Education Council of Kerala and Marian College Kuttikkanam and for IPSR Solution for hosting this. And now my promise to all participants is that this will not be a boring session, and I will share many of my 30 years of industrial experience with you, and this will be definitely add some value to your personal and professional life. So here you heard about my biodata. Therefore, I would like to tell you that how I am sitting here in front of you, because basically I am a product design specialist, and I have designed about the smallest product which I designed. That was a Titan watch, and the biggest product, it is some parts of Toyota Innova Krista. And in between there are several products, and each product is a challenging one, and it really uses the various levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So here today's my talk to you, it is mainly regarding the outcome-based education and its underlying threads. Why should we speak about underlying threads? Because you had already 2 sessions on outcome-based education. That is for first day by Dr. George, and he has completely described various aspects of Bloom's taxonomy, and then how to develop questions based on Bloom's taxonomy. And then second day, you had a very good interactive session with Dr. Mendes Jacob, and he explained to you how these evaluations are done and how tabulations are done, how it is to be, how the data is to be used. And I am sure he has explained the methodologies and tools for that. So today I am going to speak something else that is directly linked to NEP 2020, New Educational Policy 2020, and that is going to affect each one of us in the coming years and maybe coming decades. So this new education policy, it is going to free students from even from attending one university or college alone. Means one can take a class from here and take one course from here, take another course from some other place. So it is very important that the faculty members, they should be star performers to retain the students, so that students will throw to one college, and that is your college, to attend your class. So therefore, this outcome-based education underlying thread is going to develop so much of insights into you, and these insights are something which you can apply directly to your classroom sessions. And in that way, you know that the smart class is the class where the teacher is smart. So therefore, this will actually make teacher smart. And when teacher is smart, students will start liking that subject, and even your likability is going to go up, and then you are going to shine like a star. Your classrooms will become three-dimensional. In the way, your students will start understanding the depth of your teaching. Therefore, that is the main objective of this OBE, outcome-based education underlying thread. Why someone decided to make this OBE? This particular subject, I am very keen to speak to you. One reason is that during my 30 years of my work in industry, I would have interviewed minimum 12,000 candidates. Because I was a chief operating officer, I have interviewed from senior engineer to vice president level. So when you interview someone for a job, you really understand the quality of the education system of our country. So that is the reason I have I have come across these technologies very early, and I could do research on this. So I am coming back to the subject. This is OBE, underlying threats, and you will get many new information, including some of the surveys, and these surveys you can relate with your classroom, and the inferences you make from this, I am going to tell you again, this is going to be helpful for your personal as well as professional life. If many of you will be parents of teenagers, or many of you will have younger siblings, so you will understand that what is exactly leading them in their classroom, in their day-to-day education, and you can help them with learning. So first, I am going to take my presentation here. Please, a few minutes. Now, can you see my screen? At least with an arrow?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
So today, this is our topic, outcome-based education, the underlying threats. Now, let us see why we need outcome-based education. There will be so many reasons people say there should be an outcome. But why we need outcome-based education? That's a very interesting thing. If you understand this, you will understand many of the points what they have written in new educational policy. See, fundamentally, if you're speaking, there should be an outcome. You know that there is something called Indian Contract Act. When you give something, you have to get something back. So when students invest their time, their golden years of their life, when they invest, and parents also invest, society is investing, country is investing. When they all invest, there should be a guarantee of getting something back to the society, to the person, to the family, to the country, because ultimately the collective work, the collective wisdom or collective knowledge of this youth, which is going to drive this country. So there are four main issues in this. One is outcome-based education is directly linked to our economic growth. Second thing is that the second point is outcome-based education is directly linked to our societal well-being. Third thing is it is directly linked to our pride and self-respect. And fourth one is it is actually linked to security of our nation also. I will briefly tell one by one of this. First, let us speak about the economic. Now, do you know that Indian currency is the one which has taken maximum beating in the throughout history? When I was a boy, when I was in 8th or 9th standard, when I could understand US dollar, Indian rupee currency conversion, 1 US dollar was 7 rupee 50 paisa. Now it has gone to 84 rupees. It is almost more than 10 times. Why this got devalued this much? If you see the fundamentals of this economic, fundamentals of this foreign exchange, everything ultimately coming to one point. When your exports are low skills and low value, and your imports are of high value, of high technology, then you will end up with a low value currency. So why we have to live with a low value currency is directly linked to our engineering and technological skills. Whatever we are exporting from here is low value skill item, like even the software information technology said, what we are selling, giving is a low value. What we are exporting is raw material. Our finished goods, engineering goods, whatever we export, those are of no uniqueness. There are many people, there are many countries around the world, they are also making the same thing. Therefore, there is no uniqueness in our exports. But at the same time, we are importing a lot. We are importing high technology items while claiming that we are high technology. Even there was a Tata Airbus product in that, excepting the top surface, everything is ultimately imported. You take a Delhi, Bombay bullet train, everything is imported. If something, it is only assembled here. It is only Indians' brain is not used. Indians' muscle only is used. Then this economic situation, how it comes to this, the reason is that if we have to retain 40 lakh software people here, we need a low currency value. If $1 is 45 rupees, Infosys, TCS, and Cognizant won't exist here in this way, because nobody craving for their services. It is replaceable. But if $1 is 200 rupees, still we will buy BMW. Still we will buy Apple iPad. The reason is that we are craving for this. That is the place in which our outcome-based education is coming. We have to make high-value products so that the foreigner should crave for our products. Then our rupee value is going to go up. In that way, we will get cheaper petrol. We will get many of the things with a lesser price, with less import content. Therefore, our outcome-based education has got a direct link to economics of this country, economics of each and every individual here. Now, I am coming to the second point. Second point is the societal. Once when I was flying, when I was flying from US to here, my neighbor, one foreigner, one Englishman, he was telling here, earlier, 200 years ago, British people, they braved all bad weather, ship, and all difficulties they faced to come to India. Okay, let us say to take money from India or take all raw materials from India. And in 1947, we got independence. Now, what is the situation? They need not come to take the raw material and our wealth, looting wealth from here. They need not come here to loot. We are going and giving to them. We are going and giving to them because foreign universities, they are taking some $70 billion from India. Now it has come to a social curse. Now it has come, almost every family has got a member, they are fighting for foreign education. Why such a thing happening here? And many youth, they believe that education is of no use. It is because they are seeing their seniors, they are coming out with a glory, with a good certificate and with a degree certificate and many certifications. That certification, this certification, they are coming with all certification, but ultimately they feel they are useless. Low self-esteem. They are going to drug, they are going to liquor, they are going for all immoral things because and outcome-based education, which is going to build self-esteem into them, that is going to be an important part. Now, I am coming to the third point. Last month, one Japanese friend, he came to Pune to visit me. And we were standing there on the road, and he has shown me a big billboard just opposite to us. There is an advertisement. It says, "We are the 2 feet of India." Which is that advertisement? 2 feet of India, and they are showing an army man's 2 feet. They are showing the advertisement of Honda. Honda two-wheeler, they claim they are the 2 feet of India now. They sold 3 crore scooters in India. 3 crore. It was a great pride for him because he's showing that, oh, Honda is going. Everywhere he sees the foreign item here. Why are we not capable? Whether Oppo, Vivo, OnePlus, whether they invented a phone, whether Dell invented the laptop, whether Ford invented the car, and why are we becoming the slave for everything? Why are we doing only the components? Why are we doing only the coding part of it? Why are we not able to develop something which other people really crave for? This is an issue of pride and self-respect. One person told me he has not seen a Malaysian engineer or a Chinese engineer or a European engineer working as a storekeeper in Gulf. We are working. These are all against our pride and self-respect. Therefore, any student coming out of our education system, he should feel proud, he should have a self-respect. That is also a reason of outcome-based education. Now let us come to security. I recently read a news article by saying that India's shipbuilding, it waited for 4.5 years only to get a particular quality of steel. India is one of the major country with iron ore, but all specialty steels are imported. We export iron ore for 40 paisa per kg, and when it becomes a part of some product, which will have, when it comes back, it will become even 1,200 to 1,500 rupees per kg. There are many things. We are depending on our national security to foreigners. A country called Israel, that is only the size of my home district, Kottayam in Kerala state, that is exporting some 60,000 worth of items to India. We are depending on them. These are all the things we must eliminate if India has to become a superpower. Our approach to education, our approach to the what should be the outcome of the education, it has to change. If it doesn't change, our all visions will remain only as a vision. It is only a line drawn on water. Therefore, it is important that we need to understand the underlying threads of outcome-based education. So, I hope I am clear. If anyone has got any doubt in between, please let me know. Can somebody respond?
If any of you have any doubts to Suresh, Dr. Suresh, you can please unmute and ask him.
Okay, I am proceeding. Now, we understood that why we need OBE. So it is an outcome-based education, and when we are taking a journey, we need to understand that where we stand. So for that purpose, as Siji introduced in the beginning, we have conducted pan-India ethnographic survey involving about 37,000 stakeholders and including some 248 colleges in this. Based on that study, I am going to show you a record in abilities wise on Bloom's taxonomy where our students start now. You all heard about Bloom's taxonomy. You have attended 2 programs and you would have definitely understood before that. In Bloom's taxonomy, the lowest level, lowest layer, that is remembering. Remembering in the sense almost like a parroting. So the people who can only remember, they can only define, duplicate, list, memorize, repeat, reproduce, recognize, etc. So that is what the Bloom's lowest level, that is remembering. They can recall facts and repeat information. Why I told it is as a parroting, because in Harvard University there was a parrot called Alex. You please go to Wikipedia and search for Alex the parrot. This parrot used to do almost everything what is written in Bloom's taxonomy's remembering. That means whether our educational system is making only that type of parrots. So at least we have to understand here, 94% of our graduates are confused graduates. They can only parrot things and they are not emotionally attached. They are not attached to any one single subject in which they have studied, and they cannot recollect any of the things which they have done in their degree. And what this particular group of people do, they know that they are inadequate. They go for whatever master's degree they will get, wherever, because they want to continue their education. That is their only objective. Since they are not interested in any one particular subject, they don't even ask for a subject. They will ask for where their friends go or which is the best consultants advertisement. And these people are one major portion, major contributors to our financial, our foreign exchange outflow to Germany, Australia, and other countries. And who will select these people even after graduation? They go for PSC to write PSC examination because they do not know exactly what to do. They will go for anything, many certifications and many examinations. So that is a condition of this 94% of our passing out students from graduation. Now let us see. 3.7% of graduates are average graduates. You know, TCS, Cognizant, etc. They select mainly students from this 3.7% because they can explain ideas and concepts in their own words. So this is that group. Now let us see the third group. Now the second group, 3.7%, they will come under Bloom's comprehension. Now let us see how many people can apply a concept in a different situation. That means they understood a concept here. They got the abstract reasoning or abstract meaning of that. They keep that in their mind. When they see a new place, they will find that application there. It is not like that you get a formula here and you can apply the formula in a similar different problem. That is not Bloom's taxonomy's application. It is finding the abstract reasoning of this particular concept and trying to apply in a different situation. Different situation can be a real life situation. So only 1.5% of our students are able to do this. See, Bloom's taxonomy has got a different, has got various applications. It can be used for a learning structure, but it can be used for a capability mapping. So when we are seeing that there is a particular course, we can actually see that on how many students are in which level, Now I am going to take, so far whatever we have discussed, everything is LOT, that is lower order thinking. But now the top three, they are higher order thinking. You know about the higher order thinking, that is analysis, evaluate, and create. In these three, our total population is only 0.8. That means whoever in 100 students class, let us say approximately one person has got the ability to create something out of that learning in that subject. This particular data, this is not at all good for us. We must improve. That is the reason this is the current reality. We must know where we stand. Means making some question paper for this and passing, they may not give. OBE says, National Education Policy says that we need to stretch, we need to improve the quality of our teaching and learning. That is the only way we can take this forward. Within the existing thing, only by changing the question, we are not going to get. Now one thing, I will tell you one classic example. Now, in science lab, especially chemistry lab, we have got a salt analysis. Whether salt analysis will come under analyze? No, it is not coming under Bloom's taxonomy's analyze. It is coming under comprehension, because we understood a procedure. We understood a procedure. We are following a procedure. That's all. Therefore, that is not. Therefore, salt analysis cannot be taken as analysis here. Now, let us go further. I am going to tell something very interesting here. Ultimately, now UGC, ACT, everyone says like that. Objective of studying, ultimately there should be seen in the graduate attributes. What are the attributes? So UGC has a defined series of graduate attributes. That means anyone who is passing, successfully completing graduation, they should have these attributes. So here, let us see that current reality, what we have seen in the previous slide, how it is directly affecting our students' graduate attributes. Now here it is: disciplinary knowledge, communication skills, critical thinking, problem solving, analytical reasoning, research-related skills. Now I will tell you this thing: disciplinary knowledge. See, capable of demonstrating comprehensive knowledge and understanding of one or more disciplines that form a part of an undergraduate program of study. This is actually coming under application. So, what was our application? It was 1.5%. 1.5% students only have that skill for application. Now, this communication skill. See, in communication skill, we listen, but we have to interpret. We read, we have to infer. We have to speak, we have to write. When we speak and write, we have to create content on the spot. Sometimes we create the content, create the information based on the question or based on a reaction from somebody else. That is actually extempore speaking, extempore writing is actually creation. Or when we are doing it in this way, it is coming under analysis. Now it is critical thinking, and analysis we have got only, that is a higher order thinking, we have got only 0.8% of people. So critical thinking, evaluate, we have got 0.8%. So when we see when we map the current reality on Bloom's taxonomy against the graduate attributes of UGC, our situation is like this. Hope you are understanding what I am saying here. Now I am coming to a very interesting subject. It is based on Bloom's taxonomy. Why foreign university syllabi don't produce the same results in India? There are many universities, they claim that we have taken the syllabi from that year, Harvard University, Columbia University, Yale University. There are many people, many universities, and they proudly put it on their website, and they will have beautiful buildings, almost equal to Harvard, air conditioning. But why? Why such things don't produce the same results in India? I am going to explain that portion from Bloom's taxonomy's extension point of extension, and we are going to discuss what to do for that. Why foreign university syllabi don't produce the same results in India? This is what ultimately the modified, this revised Bloom's taxonomy. In revised Bloom's taxonomy, what Anderson, Kothwal, etc., what they did after the demise of Dr. Benjamin Bloom, what they did is that this remember was knowledge. This create and evaluate, create was on the fifth level, evaluate was on the top level. But major thing they did is that they put 4 levels of contents to this in Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy, we cannot write as a, draw as a triangle. A Bloom's taxonomy, a revised Bloom taxonomy is looking like this. It is because knowledge has got 4 different content levels, that is factual, conceptual, procedure, and metacognitive. And here on the Bloom's taxonomy, this level, it is going to be, here you have seen what are our scoring, our current reality. So we can see like this. Earlier, what I was telling you, that one SALT analysis is not analysis. It is because it will come understand and procedure. So it is going to come. It is going to come here as we are following an procedure instruction. Why I have shown this knowledge dimension here is we have to find a new technology word that is written in new educational policy. It is called cognitive rigor. What is separating us from all other leading industrialized nations and all other major universities is one particular thing, that is cognitive rigor. If we are building this 2-word thing, India will become a superpower. It is cognitive rigor. This cognitive rigor, what is that, and how we will achieve that? I will go to next slide. This is the cognitive rigor matrix, and this is developed by this is developed by Dr. Norman Webb. You can search on internet, or many of you will be knowing this. This is the thing, a one step ahead of that Bloom's this revised Bloom's taxonomy. Now in USA and in all developed countries, they are speaking only in terms of DOK, that is a depth of knowledge. They are not speaking about the Bloom's level, because Bloom's level is very confusing, because whatever is written in each Bloom's level, it is a combination. It has got extreme skills. Therefore, it is necessary to have another section called separating those things. So what Dr. Norman Webb did is that that lowest in this the depth of knowledge, it is recall and reproduction. Then the next level is skills and concept, means one has acquired skills and concepts. Then third level is one has acquired the ability for strategic thinking and reasoning. And the last one is extended thinking. And on the y-axis, it is Bloom's taxonomy. It is same. So I will show you another. I hope you understood this. Means it is remember has got only recall and reproduction. But when it is coming to comprehend, the comprehend one can have recall and reproduction of the comprehension, or skills and concepts, strategic thinking and reasoning, extended thinking. Now let us say, there is no meaning of sitting and thinking that our students are like this. And it is not possible to raise students with the existing technologies and approaches we use. I will tell you one example. This is one of the top educationists educationists told me. We know that we can fish only from water. Means for fishing we need water. We can fish from water. But if we take one bucket water from pipe and if we start fishing, we are not going to get fish because fish is not there. So it is important that we must get fish first of all. For that, because nothing, something is not going to come from nothing. It is not possible that if we teach, or our ecosystem of education ecosystem, that makes only the remembering. Students are not exposed to other things. We cannot expect them to apply, or them to analyze, them to evaluate, or them to create. Therefore, it is necessary that this 94% of confused graduates, it's a big burden on the country. So it is a requirement of new educational policy. It is the responsibility of the educational system to take those people up. We need to take this 94%. I am very sure that it is not possible to take all 94% up. But there is a saying, every soldier should have an ambition to become a field marshal, or they should have a willingness or drive for that. Therefore, if we, as a country like India, like other industrialized or developed nation, our objective is that by 2040 we have to become a developed nation. So, if we are to achieve that, this 94%, it can be 40%, it can be 45%. We cannot live with the 94% in remembering level. Then the question is what to do. The question is what to do. I am going to tell that what to do. The solution for raising students through Bloom's taxonomy, it is there in the Bloom's taxonomy itself. If we read the Bloom's verb, we will understand. How one take this? First, this remembering, that is parroting, we know. But in the second level, that is 3.7% average graduates. Interpret. How one can interpret. Exemplify. How one can summarize. How one can infer. From this, it is very clear that what is required here is language for comprehension. Language for comprehension in the sense we learn things when we are not aware that we are learning it. We learn things when we are not aware that we are learning that. Therefore, we learn things through the masalas attached to that. That is and if we have to understand all those things, that is explanations about this, anecdotes about this, stories about this, the histories about this, and the characteristics of for everything we need words. Some of the things we learn through jokes. Some of the things we learn through the incidences associated with that. That is a reason. That is a reason. From the guidebook, we will only learn definition, graph, or formula, or some workout example. We are not going to learn insight from that. If we are to get insight, unless we get insight, we cannot use our own words to explain something. So therefore, if one has to get insight, first thing we require is that it is a language for comprehension. For everything, we need a certain language. Our students, because in our culture, everyone is pushed to saying that no need to study language, you study only science. And we learn that science from technical guidebooks. Therefore, we have not developed insights about this. For developing insights about anything, we need language. Without words, we cannot even think. When our vocabulary is so small, even our thinking range will be so small. So therefore, it is very important that language for comprehension, that one only can take our Indian students from remember to second level comprehension. Now let us say, this level, only we are going to make students to TCS, Cognizant, Wipro type of company acceptance level. But they will be ready to accept more knowledge. But they have not reached to a level which a country like ours need. Therefore, we have to raise them further. 1.5% students for practical graduates for application. It is too less. We need a minimum 20-22% of that. What to do for that? For that, we need critical and creative thinking abilities. Without critical and creative thinking abilities, no one is going to rise from here to there. They are not going to find an application. If they have to use, if they have to convert, if they have to discuss, if they have to demonstrate, they need critical and creative thinking abilities. And when this is for the application, but if our company, if our country, if it has to develop further, at least 8 to 10% of our students, they should be in this higher order thinking level. I am telling the minimum. We need minimum 15% of the students in the higher order thinking. What to do for that? For higher order thinking, after having language for comprehension and creative thinking, what they require is idea exposure and worldview. Idea exposure and worldview. If we do not have this, now each one I will tell you few examples. Idea exposure and worldview. There is a famous quotation by Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple Computers. He is considered as one of the most creative person of our time. So his definition of creativity is very, very important. He said that he himself is seen as the most creative person of our time. His definition of creativity, he said, creativity is nothing but rearranging what we already know. It is rearranging what we already know. That means how much idea exposure we have, how much worldview we have, that much only we have for rearranging. His famous speech is there, connecting the dots. He specifically said, if we don't have idea exposure, each idea living in our brain is a dot. We don't have dots to connect. So whatever we teach, whatever subject we have, students, what they require is maximum idea exposure and worldview about that subject. Let it be a very boring subject. But we have to understand somebody spent their whole life on that to create this boring subject. Therefore, it is boring only for us, or it is looking boring for us, or it is explained in a boring way to us. It may not be a boring subject, because for lakhs of people it's an interesting subject. It is because there is something content which is interesting in that. Therefore, here the topmost important thing is we must have idea exposure and world view about any subject. Now, we are coming to critical and creative thinking. Unless we refuse to accept whatever is given to us in that way without questioning, then we will remain in the topmost. We remain slaves. We cannot become masters. We cannot ask a question why. We will not be questioners at all. Therefore, critical and creative thinking is the second most important part in this. Now I will come back to this language for comprehension. Do you know what? In our ethnographic survey, one thing we realized, one thing we understood is that if a standard textbook is given to our graduate students, their reading speed is only 1 to 1.5 page per hour. It is not at all good. 1 to 1.5 page per hour. That's an average reading speed if a standard textbook is given. With that, without a standard textbook, our students are not going to get insights. Now, after saying all these things, how to raise our students from lower order thinking to higher order thinking, these are the 3 steps. While speaking, I will tell you one interesting thing. Do you know why Ivy League universities or the top universities, they make sure that their students they are getting are excellent, their learnability is high, or they are smart? They insist on some examination like IELTS, SAT, PT, GMAT, etc. Do you know why? It is because IELTS is not an English examination. If anybody has got that thinking, please remove it. IELTS has got language for comprehension, critical and creative thinking, idea exposure, and worldview. It is because there are 4 modules for IELTS examination, that is in listening and reading. You are exposed to certain content, but you have to infer from that. Questions are not directly like remembering. You have to infer and you have to write. This inferring requires language for comprehension and critical and creative thinking. Without that, no one can pass reading and listening of IELTS. And when it is coming to writing and speaking, it is spontaneous content creation. For this spontaneous content creation, we need all 3. Language for comprehension, critical and creative thinking, idea exposure, and worldview. Therefore, IELTS examination is a very, very smart way for this foreign universities to ensure that they are getting students of higher order thinking with high levels of Bloom's taxonomy. I hope it is clear. Now, I am going to the next slide. Here, this particular slide we have seen earlier, it is a cognitive rigor matrix. On the y-axis, it is Bloom's cognitive process dimensions, and on x-axis, it is DOK, that is depth of knowledge levels. You saw recall and reproduction, skills and concept, strategic thinking and reasoning, and extended thinking. Now I am going to tell you what are all the prerequisites for students to get cognitive rigor. I told you earlier, it is the cognitive rigor that is differentiating foreigners for industrialized developed nation with us. It is cognitive rigor that is keeping our IITs and IISc and all below than our Chinese universities, Korean universities, Singapore universities, Hong Kong universities, Japanese universities. It is cognitive rigor. So cognitive rigor achievement is the main objective of NEP 2020. If you can speak and if you can teach in the cognitive rigor way, then you are going to shine like a star. So here I am going to show you those three principles what we have seen earlier to raise in the Bloom's taxonomy, how it is going to come here in cognitive rigor matrix. That is, first is our first how to raise students is language for comprehension. See, I am going to take it further. For these three, it means here it will be diagonal growth. For these three, we need a language for comprehension. That means remember and comprehend on Bloom's taxonomy, recall and skills and concepts on DOK, depth of knowledge. We need this much. If a student has to do this much, we need a language for the student should need. Student needs language for comprehension. Now I am raising it. Critical and with creative and critical and creative thinking only student can reach here. And now we are coming to the topmost. This is what the dream of every country, every college, every government. That is this is the cognitive rigor matrix on the top. And here we need idea exposure and worldview. Are there any questions? Or am I going very fast? Or is it something going above head? If someone can give the feedback on chat, I can configure accordingly. Okay, thank you. Now let me tell something about something here about cognitive rigor. Now I am reading a book. It is written by our Infosys founder, this Chris Gopalakrishnan, etc. That was published last month. In that they have written how difficult it was to bring an IBM computer to IIT Kanpur in 1967. They bought it from USA and it reached in Kanpur airport, and from there they had to carry that IBM computer on bullock cart because they were afraid if it is kept on a truck through the Kanpur all gutter roads, it will get damaged. Then how they brought it into the institute and how difficult it was. But I am very surprised to see that all explanations of difficulty and getting the computer, it stopped there. And what we did with that computer, no explanation. What we did with that. People here, some time back, a friend of mine, he is a professor in a Singapore university, he told me. There was a team of academicians, they came to Singapore, that university, and this person was there with this team for about 2.5 days. He was telling anything and everything they see, they immediately say that, wow, good infrastructure, good funding, infrastructure funding. Then they blame that in India, no infrastructure, no funding. He said they didn't develop all this thought process with infrastructure and funding. 80% of the things to do, we need only critical and creative thinking. It is not based on infrastructure. They have got to flip the classroom. They have developed everything. It is with their thought process. For reading, comprehension, trying, we don't need big infrastructure. We don't need big funding. If for us, therefore, it is important for us to understand that in 1967 there was a latest computer in IIT Kanpur. In 1980 there was the computer science course started in IIT Bombay. From 1981 there was a full-fledged computer center there in IIT Bombay. From 1984, we had a CNC milling machining center was there in IIT Delhi. But whether we developed anything out of it, India has not developed even a mouse, even a keyboard, even an operating system, even one app of world repute, no Photoshop or nothing. We have not developed anything. These are all the things used only to remain slave, only to remain slave. And for that slavery, we have to subsidize by our devaluing rupee. We need to understand this particular situation. If we have to come out of our slavery, because most of the coding we do, it is almost equivalent to plumbing and carpentry work only, nothing more than that. So if we have to come out of this situation, we have to increase our cognitive rigor. That is what OBE stands for. According to OBE, we have to, according to NEP 2020, we have to throw our servitude. We have to become masters, not slaves. We have to become leaders, not followers. Now, at present, technologically, we are slaves and followers. So that is the main thing about this cognitive rigor matrix. Since almost all of you sitting here are with a computer background, let me tell you one more eye-opening fact. TCS has got 5,75,000 employees. Do you know how many employees? How many employees Adobe has got? Adobe has got 12,500 employees. And TCS employee revenue per employee is 27 lakhs. For Adobe, it is 70 crore. That is the difference between service and that is the difference between creative product. Adobe publicly declared that we are going to defeat automation. We are going to defeat automation. We are going to defeat artificial intelligence. We are going to defeat machine learning type of thing. Everyone who is creative, everyone who has got something in their head to contribute, they are going to remain as a company like that. No wonder their Photoshop is an industry standard. Adobe Premiere Pro is an industry standard. PDF is an industry standard. In the Adobe Lightroom, Adobe Captivate is an industry standard. So with the 12,500 employees, they are making all these things. It is not the quantity, it is the quality. But we need both, because if we are going to remain in a low quality follower nation, we are not going to achieve any of the visions. We are going to suffer. I am going to go to the next thing. Here on the right hand side, you are seeing a handsome young man. He is handsome, he is young because he died at the age of 38. So we cannot get any older image of his. Even though he died at the age of 38, this Lev Vygotsky's theories are used across the world. Across the world, his learning theories are applied. Take Japan education system, Korean education system, Chinese education system, anywhere. His education theories are followed. It is called social constructivism. So social constructivism. I am very sure that some of you would have learned about him. If not, please note, it is Lev Vygotsky and the social constructivism. Here we are writing 5 points of his and how these prerequisites which are directly linked to his theories. 1. Students construct their knowledge. If you are teaching it to a class of 60 students, 60 students are going to construct the idea given to them. They are going to construct in their own ways. How their own ways? It is depending on their personality, their society, their ecosystem, and their background. They are going to construct their own knowledge. Second, the learning is mediated. Third, language plays a central role in mental development. Language plays a central role. If you are forgetting language, then it is like a then it is like a we don't have a medium to understand things. Learning appears twice. Development cannot be separated from its social context. These are the 5 key points of Lev Vygotsky's theories. Now, the 3 points what I told you, it is very important. Language for comprehension, critical and creative thinking, and idea exposure and worldview. The important thing is, without these 3 fundamental attributes, no students can attain any of the graduate attributes. That is the challenge we face. That is the failure we face. Even if we give 100 marks, everyone is getting high score. It is only a score. There is no outcome. Society is not going to benefit from that high mark. Society is not going to, country is not going to benefit. Family is not going to benefit. No employer is not going to get. Not only that, that student is not going to get benefit. Even teacher is not going to get a satisfaction from that. Therefore, these are the 3 important things. Language for comprehension, idea exposure and worldview, critical and creative thinking, idea exposure and worldview. Anyone for any subject, computer science, information technology, robotics, mechatronics, biomedical engineering, take any subject. These are the 3 things. It is a prerequisites. Especially, I want to tell you that critical and creative thinking is the literacy of higher education. First year, that these are the 3 things. Any college with its salt, with little sincerity and vision, these are the 3 things they should be putting in the first year. They must get the language for comprehension, critical and creative thinking, idea exposure and worldview. Now I am taking you to some more interesting thing. Earlier we had a Bloom's taxonomy chart which said, which has shown what is the current reality. Now I am going to show you the extension of that big survey, and this survey is going to be published by an Ivy League university in 2023. So this, you are getting to know about this survey before they publish it. So I am going next to that. Now let us see, before that let us see what is happening in industrialized nations. There you know that language skills, critical and creative thinking, and idea exposure and worldview are part of their family and social interaction. Students gain them well before deciding on the college. I will explain a little here. Do we have a do-it-yourself culture? We do not have. Even if there is something to be repaired at home, we will take to the repair person. We buy everything in a fully assembled condition. We don't have an experience of accepting our food. Nowadays, food also coming as a fully cooked thing through Zomato and all. But here in India, we don't have such a do-it-yourself culture. In foreign countries, you know, if the car is to be repaired, father and mother, they come and they take their tools and they start working. They start speaking about all those practical things. But here we are not exposed to. We are not exposed to such a thing. Therefore, therefore, what is the benefit they have? Before a student joins mechanical engineering, political science, or computer science, or information technology, he or she has got almost good knowledge about that particular domain. Means they are entering into a domain with that understanding. In our case, we listen to friends, we listen to people, cousins, and we are deciding based on a selection list. We are not joining, or most of our students are not joining a course with a good understanding about that course. So with these three important attributes are inbuilt into their system, they have better cognitive rigor. That is the reason they are able to shine well in their educational institutions and in their education. Now let us see what is the condition of our Indian students. Indian students come from very unique background. The challenges they face are distinctively different. Therefore, it is important that whatever we see abroad, we cannot copy it here directly. We need different approaches. But for making those different approaches, we have to understand what is exactly there. Learning is a complicated process. Unfortunately, in India, nowadays, from almost all in higher education, the people come and join as academics. They need not learn about learning theory itself. But it should be the reverse. People with the learning theory can teach almost anything. So understanding learning theories and developing teaching methodologies to suit the students of the country, that is the most important. Therefore, we must understand where these students stand. So we have taken pain. We spend about some 2.5 crore rupees and about 4 years of our life only to do this research, because we are a group of people. We are determined to make meaning in our lives and other people's life, whoever we can influence. That is the reason I am sitting here at this age and at this time in front of you. So we are going to show you what is that, what they lack, or where they stand. Now, this particular survey, what I am going to show you here, that is mainly from engineering colleges and made from engineering colleges. But almost similar reports are there for the higher educational institutions. Therefore, I request you to do that interpolation and extrapolation so that you will understand. Here there are three things. One is challenges faced by students. Second, root cause analysis of those challenges. Then we have an application platform that is made to meet these challenges based on the root cause analysis. I am not going to show that part of this, but I am going to show the challenges and the root cause analysis of this. So let us see challenges faced by students in their first year. As I told you, this particular part in this presentation is from engineering, but other computer science and other also it is almost the same. See, 87% of students lack the conceptual knowledge to imbibe the essence of engineering. 84% of them not sure whether they will be able to acquire such knowledge. This is a big number. I will tell you the reasons for this. for gaining a conceptual knowledge, you need at least the first two. You need at least the first two. That is language for comprehension and critical and creative thinking. When a new topic is taken in the class, how many students are actually analyzing that, finding the reason in that? Therefore, they all fail in that because most of them are coming from coaching centers or from quota or from from a background. It insists that you have to learn only that equation, workout example, definitions and graphs, because that is going to save us in our life. So therefore, they do not have this information at all. And 92% of students experience severe comprehension related problems. As I told you earlier, some of the students, they have got 1 page per hour for standard textbooks. I will tell you an example. As part of this ethnographic study, we went to students' hostels and stayed there to understand how they learn. And we went through their textbook. I will tell you, during an examination season, we have seen that from a textbook, a student, she read almost all chapters, but only first page. She attempted to read almost all chapters of that textbook, but she has not crossed more than 1 or 2 pages of each chapter. She says, I sincerely tried to read, but thing is that I can't understand. I can't go behind this, go ahead of this. There is a severe comprehension related issue. That is the reason we have gone to the backside of colleges during the final examination. We have seen that almost 90% of students are reading only from local guidebooks or seniors' notes servals. It is because they have got a severe comprehension issue. They cannot read and understand from standard textbook. Now, 82% of students say their selection of their degree subject was a rushed decision. 94% of students lack the ability to gather relevant information from multiple learning sources and synthesize them in support of an idea, project, or assignment. That is 94% of the students. That means that is directly relating to our remembering people. They cannot gather information from various places and synthesize them. 82% of students can't handle bullying. Okay, this is a very important thing, specifically first year. This bullying is in most colleges, it is not handled at all. Because, and other surprising thing is that 97% of students do not have any hobbies or regularly participate in anything, extracurricular activities. See, now the World Cup of football is going on. When we go there and see, only certain number of students are interested in that, certain number of students actually play. I am not speaking about football alone, even though I am a football fan, but cricket is also equally. One thing we have to understand from sports, ultimately we are getting is the sportsman spirit. We are going to get that killer instinct. We are going to get that never say attitude. And such a thing can come by attempting into some extracurricular thing where we physically challenge ourselves. We try to stretch ourselves. For this purpose, we need an extracurricular activity. Now, 93% of students possess a consistent learning style. No one is there to explain to them that there can be something called learning style. They all follow the same, maybe the friends. It is necessary that what are the learning methods for a particular subject and how this, and They imitate their friends. Frequent failures lead to frustration. 96% of students do not know about the content or constitution of their education program. You ask a students of first year, what are you going to learn in second year, third year? Or now it is going to be fourth year with a new education policy. What? They don't know. So there is a necessity. When I take my car and I go for a tour, if I know that this is the way I am going to travel, they are saying like that in the first year. No one is explaining them that what they are going to learn when. 96% of students get advice that an engineering degree is not enough. When they go for graduation, the best advice they get is that graduation is not enough. Actually, graduation is a very high degree. You go to US, you go to Europe, go to Japan, go to Australia. Graduation is a very, very important degree. Even in India also. With graduation, you can become a district collector, you can become IAS, IPS, you can become anything. There is no qualification which is no job which says that which is beyond this. All big jobs, graduation is enough. Then whatever this graduation person can do, that is the question we are getting even low quality civil service people here. Therefore, one should learn graduation by thinking that graduation is enough. Actually, in most occasions, post-graduation is a liability. For example, if you are going for a specialized master's degree, then industry, academia, everyone is going to see the student as from that particular narrow domain. So that is a narrow domain. Therefore, it is not necessary. Students must learn graduation by thinking that graduation is enough. But if they are getting really interested in some subject during graduation, they can go for the master's degree of that, considering the opportunities in the labor market. And then what happens? From second year itself, they start preparing for GATE. %92 of students don't know how the job roles and how the life in the world of work. 94% of students do not know that what they can become in their life with their this degree. These are all the things they make them frustrated from the first year itself, and no one is there clearly explain these things to them. Now I am coming to the root cause analysis. Many of the root cause analysis points I have explained here while describing. And then we have got a platform here. This platform contains the complete tools directly students can use for solving all these issues on their own, without the interference or without stealing the time of the faculty. Now I am going to the second year. This is the second year. Once again, we have got the challenges faced by students, the root cause analysis, and what are all the tools to solve this. Now this is for the third year. For the third year students, what are the challenges they face? And what are the root cause analysis for that? And what are the tools to solve this thing? Now, we are coming to one of the very hot subject, that is startup and entrepreneurship. Every government, every college, they all want to show that they are good startups. But you remove the peel of that startup, you will find that it is copied from somewhere, already done somewhere. Only difference is that it's a startup there. There is nothing new in that. Once I met a German. He used to have interaction with India for a long time. This German, he was asking me, why can't Indians solve India's problems? If Indians start solving India's problems, next 100 years, Nobel Prize won't go outside India. Nobel Prize is not going to go outside India because of that type of unique problems we have. But we don't have the eye to see those problems. Our main thing, what we lack is the problem finding. Our inability to find a problem. When you see from the computer point of view, even while designing graphic user interface, even while designing, even while conceiving an application, what is you take about Facebook. Facebook is a psychological product, and then told somebody to code. Mark Zuckerberg, he himself is a psychology student. So what is happening? What we lack is the ability to find our own problems. We are standing in the midst of problem, but why we fail to solve? Why we fail to solve our own problems? If we have to solve a problem, first we have to identify the problem. We should have the understanding of domains. We should have the understanding of real problems faced by the common man or a prospective customer. We are not able to do that. For example, every year, this software like a Photoshop or Microsoft Word or everyone, they are all coming with the new features. One thing, a top software person here in Pune, he told me, Indians are good to write the code, means they have to be specifically informed what to do. So that particular code they write, they cannot do anything beyond that. They cannot suggest a feature. Why are we not able to suggest a feature or suggest a shortcut? Actually, the value is remaining there. Customers are paying for that. When someone tells me to do something, I can always do, and that will remain as a slavery. By remaining slave, we cannot become a developed nation. So what is here now in the case of Bloom's taxonomy itself? I wanted to tell you, total Bloom's taxonomy, if you take as a package, what we are learning, what we are practicing, only half of that, because in the first, we need to have that the cognitive domain of Bloom's taxonomy. But feature decision, it is actually all the psychological thing is coming in the second module of Bloom's taxonomy. That is called affective domain of Bloom's taxonomy. Without learning affective domain of Bloom's taxonomy, no computer engineer is going to design a new feature, is not going to make a new GUI, no graphic user interface. Our interface will not be intuitive. So therefore, we are coming back to startup. Even there's IIT Bombay has got e-cell and entrepreneur cell, and they tell so many things. But ask them, which is that big startup from your side? they won't tell anything. That is same with the IIT Delhi, same with almost all institutions. You go to all these institutions in their campus, there is an entrepreneurship there, there's an incubation cell, there's a startup cell, there is a cell. There are boards, there are people taking money and spending. That's all. Why we are not able to get? That is the reason here we have investigated. That is the challenges faced by students. What are all the real challenges by startups, and how to, and what is the root cause analysis, and how to sort it out, and how to build startup culture in a college. It has to start from the first year. And similarly, one thing, every college should spread the news that a startup is not, every innovation is not technical. Only some innovations are technical, or in some of the main products, only one portion is technical. Even that portion also may not be that technically great. Therefore, innovation is much bigger than technical. So we have got modules for that, how to build startup capabilities. And now I am going next. This is a role model and a good citizen. Good citizenship. Hope things are going well, because I have already taken 1.5 hours, and I respect your time, I respect my time, and I hope there is little value addition from this talk. If you can tell me some feedback, that will help me to move further. See, the world is becoming more and more difficult to live, or I won't say difficult, challenging to live. And this challenging situation is arising. It is because of many of the people. It is because it is mainly because the people around us and our reaction to that, and our hopes and our expectations. But here, there is a big opportunity for higher education. I am not speaking about school education, because almost everyone, they are coming from the school. They value their schooling. It is one reason is that the school teachers are taught B.Ed. They are all so there is a great opportunity for the higher and technical education system to develop many role models and good citizens. And these role models and good citizens, they can be spread around the country. This can be done. This can be achieved from all around. this can be spread throughout the country, and they can culture, because for example, through AICT alone, about 18 lakh students are passing out and going back to various parts of the country. If they are going with a good system, and if they are going with a good after imbibing the ability for becoming role models, they will definitely change at least to 5 to 6 people around them. If this 15 lakh people into 6, I will tell you, they are actually going to influence, means this education, higher and technical education system, they are going to influence at least 60 to 70 lakh people every year. Actually, that is enough to make this country a better place to live. So why are we not able to create role models through our system? That is an important point to be discussed, and it is actually covered in new educational policy. And we have got the survey, that is what are the challenges faced by students in that, and what are the root cause analysis for this, and what are all the tools in this. That is there in our platform, but I am not going to speak about that one now. Challenges first, and these are the root cause analysis. Now I will go next. Okay, these are all learning theories and frameworks, what we use in our, what we suggest. That is, I will read out some of these things and why it is important, or at least some more thing. Please go and search Malcolm Baldrige criteria for educational excellence. It is not spoken in India. It is the America's topmost educational excellence system. Every year, American presidents personally coming and giving the award who scores maximum in this Malcolm Baldrige criteria for educational excellence. Second, please read this thing, William G. Perry's scheme for cognitive and ethical development. This is also not considered here, but it is a very eye-opening thing. William G. Perry was a director career development at Harvard University. His scheme is his study over 20 years. There is a book written by him. I am a proud owner of one of the few copies of that book. I have it here with me. Now the third one is Bloom's taxonomy, and cognitive rigor matrix. These both I explained a lot here. And the fourth one is Prashna Upanishad. Prashna Upanishad is the fourth level Upanishad. You know that Upanishad has got a hierarchy based on merit. Fourth one is Prashna Upanishad. Prashna Upanishad is actually telling people to speak, people to ask questions. And to get a good answer, you have to ask good questions. So Prashna Upanishad is a very important thing for any teacher. And the other thing is experiential learning. I am very sure in one of the faculty development programs, you would have heard about this. And from here onwards, these are all I will tell you at a later stage. Here, the 12th point I wanted to stress here, speaking as a learning and ideation tool. Speaking as a learning and ideation tool. Here, I will tell you, I will ask you a question. We all know that human beings are the most superior species on earth. Human beings, we are called Homo sapiens. Human beings are the most superior species on earth because no cow has designed a car, no buffalo has designed a smartphone. No crow landed moon. So we only did all those things. So we are the most developed people. And then what is our superiority? What is making us different? What is making human beings different? There's a lot of research on that. And I will tell you a most concise thing I came across. It is in Encyclopedia Britannica. They say human beings or Homo sapiens are the most successful species on earth because of two reasons. One is we have the ability for abstract reasoning. Second, articulative speaking. So if we do not have these two abilities, we cannot claim as human being. As a human being, we have the prerequisite that is abstract reasoning and articulative speaking. In that, speaking is a very important learning and ideation tool. You would have experienced it when you are explaining something to somebody, you get idea. It is called ideas are in the tip of your tongue, because when you speak, such a coordination happening in our brain in such a way that our mind is totally in the zenith, on the topmost point. Our mind is in the topmost point when we speak. That when you are explaining maybe a computer language or a theorem or some other concept, when you are explaining, you get a new idea, because speaking has got that magic. Speaking has got that magic. That is the reason in ancient education system, here so many people speak about ancient education system. Ancient education system is not about Hinduism. Ancient education system, they had some system to learn. And that learning, one of the primary thing of ancient education system was debating. Upanishad itself, you learn sitting next to me. Upanishad. Similarly, everywhere in Buddhist or in Hindu or in this ancient education system, the learning happened through debates. Learning happened through debates. In our education system in India, one person can pass a degree and a PG without making any meaningful talk. In YOC examination, we know when we ask a question, they drop some keywords here and there. Ultimately, it is teacher's job to connect it and understand something and give mark and pass them. That is not. We have to develop a situation for students to speak, students to argue in the class. Actually, flipped classroom is like that. If Singapore University, Korean universities, and if they are going up on QS ranking, it is because of this. They have got a debate as the major portion of their learning and ideation. I think from here, I have almost covered 1 hour 45 minutes, and I have almost spoken the key points to you. Therefore, I wish I conclude it here, because there is a second session. I have to do justice because they need at least 45 minutes for that. So I request each one of you, if you have any question, please ask. And I will also tell my phone number, that is my WhatsApp number also. If you have any doubt or anything, later also you can contact me. I am going to, shall I tell the number?
You can probably put it on the chat as well, sir.
Pardon?
You can also put it on the chat if you want. There's a chat, right?
Okay, one thing, I will tell the number.
Okay.
967 367 0033. I repeat, 967 367 0033. Yes, 967 367 0033. Yes. Now, if there is any question, please ask.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Dr. Mahendran from Tamil Nadu.
Good evening.
Yeah, really, the session was very interesting and worthy for attending this session. Thanks for the wonderful session. I have one question.
Yes.
From your presentation, it was very shocking. 94% of the graduates are very confused graduates.
Yes.
I hope any process or a technology might be very good, but if the raw material is not good, you cannot expect a quality product. Am I right?
Yeah, that is true. But at the same time, let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Okay, it may be I am not
saying when they come for higher education, they might be staying here 4 years period, right? But
Yes.
before that, they have spent 12 years in the school education.
Yeah.
So they should have a comprehension skill, English, language, everything.
Yes.
All of a sudden, in the first year itself, we cannot develop comprehension skill, language skill, everything. We could
Yes.
give them in a technical point of view, engineering point of view, subject knowledge, we can impart them. But we cannot give them in the basic understanding ability, writing, reading, all those things they should have developed in the school education itself. Am I right?
Okay.
I am telling you, the school education should be revised. The quality of school education must be revamped. Only then we can expect a good students when they come for college education. We can fine tune them. We can shape them.
Okay. See, I will tell you one example. Okay. I will tell you one example. Please don't blame me by saying that it is not exact same example, but I only as an introduction, I am telling this example. Okay.
Yes, please.
I am sure you will have a car, correct?
Yes.
Which is your car?
Hyundai Creta.
Okay, Hyundai Creta. See, Hyundai Creta has got a very good outside surface finish, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Do you know that? Because I am coming from car body engineering, I will tell you this. We are not getting every time we are not getting the same quality sheet to make this car body. Okay. Every time we get a different type of the sheet we get. Even based on the weather, the characteristics of the sheet will change. And even sometimes, even the transportation duration can change the drawability and the formability of a material. Okay. But we are constrained that we cannot sell a car without a shining body to customer. Okay. So ultimately what we do is that we take extra pain and effort to make that body in that way so that a customer like you will feel that always it comes so beautiful. When I am taking that example to here, now I will tell you another thing. I was speaking to the director of an engineering college here in Baramati. Okay. He told me the same thing, that we are getting the students like this, what to do. Okay. Then I told him that when I go and meet an engineering institution with a MTech degree, he is going to blame the graduation degree college, that they had 4 years with them, and what did they do in their 4 years. Okay. So in the same way, schooling people will blame the nursery. Nursery people will blame the parents. It will actually go like that. I am not saying like that anyone is responsible, but only thing everyone has to try. Actually, we have got this particular platform. We have developed a platform to cover all these deficiencies without involving the faculty members' time, because faculty members are already overloaded. Now I will ask you one thing. Are you from an engineering college?
No, I'm from an arts college, but I worked in engineering.
Okay, fine. Yes, fine. Okay, but you know that in engineering college there is something called first year system. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the truth? If that entire first year system is removed, nothing is going to happen. If all materials of that first year is removed, you tell them to sit idle in the class, nothing is going to change, because they are teaching all the stupidity in that first year. They are going to teach some chemistry, physics, English, mathematics, etc. So that students feel it is like after 11th and 12th, it is the 13th class. Okay.
Like foundation course.
It is not foundation. Actually, if we are going for foundation, we have to use language for comprehension, critical and creative thinking, and idea exposure and worldview. This is for the foundation. But they are not using that one. They are actually teaching something which is not at all necessary. Whoever in engineering education, I ask, if you remove the first year, what will happen? They all say nothing will happen. Then why should we waste about 10 lakh students 1 year in this way?
Yeah. I do agree all your points.
Yes, so what I am coming to is that you yourself, one person cannot change anything. But you know, one person is a force. One person is a force. With whatever subject you will be able to do, you are taking in the class. Take it like this. Every day you give them some words. You always tell some practical examples to them. And instead of making statements, you make sure that after 2 statements, let it be a question. Okay. Then you encourage students to tell that when you write a paragraph and you tell some 2-3 people group to develop questions out of that. Let our question learn. Our students learn how to question. You got the point. There are see one thing. I understand your limitations fully, but at the same time, my only request is that don't get discouraged. Within your power, within your territory, you please become a change. Become someone who can change something.
Change agent or catalyst, of course.
Yes. That's a challenge in that.
Yeah.
So then you will see that it is not only your students are going to gain, you are going to gain, your family members are going to gain. And your friends and your circles, they will notice it.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Any more questions?
So there are some questions in the chat. Would you like to take them?
Actually, I am not able to see chat here. One minute, let me see that one.
You want, I can read out few of the questions for you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
There's one question. Without acquiring a software, how would it be possible to implement OBE?
See, being computer science people, you know that software is a tool that is coming in the end. Every software has got a concept. Every software has got a philosophy. There is an input, there is an output. Only that process that will be done systematically by the software. So therefore, if you do not have the software, one thing you can do is that actually we are running in a no profit, no loss organization. Okay. It is very easy for any institution to have a platform like ours. But as I was answering the previous question, to in your class, in your territory, or whoever you are interacting with, using these three, it is not a difficult thing at all. You develop this language for comprehension. Make sure that you are speaking good language, you are reading, you are gaining insights from various sources and information. You are synthesizing and speaking to students. Second point is that speak in a critical and creative thinking way. Speak in a critical and creative thinking way, and ask questions in the class. Encourage students to make a question in the class. If you are really brave enough, in your question paper, at least give 2 or 3 questions, two or three, at least 5% of the marks to ask the questions back. So they get the statement, but you are telling students to ask question back. So let them develop some habit and ability for questioning. Then always in the class, you tell some 5 to 10 examples so that they will get idea exposure. There is YouTube, there are many things you can find from internet, so that you can shine like a star.
All right, so there is one last question I think we can take, Preeti S. As the faculties have to complete the syllabus as per the curriculum, how can time be scheduled for application part?
See, we all live our days, and we have got many things to do in our house or in our work. What we do is that we do things in certain ways. So this language for comprehension or critical and creative thinking, idea exposure and world view, these are not the thing additionally you are doing. Whatever you are doing doing through this. So therefore, it is not something that you have to do additionally. We have got a habit. See, we have got a habit. This is what people speak about the time being Indian education system. We only teach about something. We don't teach something. We only teach about something. If I tell example, I will teach about swimming. I don't teach swimming. You know the difference between these two. We have theories, we have definition, we have a paper presentation, we are doing everything. We are doing about something. We don't do that something. We forget to do that. Therefore, instead of speaking about and what, be that one, something.
I think
Answering questions.
I think we have covered the questions in the chat. Thank you so for this very wonderful, informative session. Thank you for covering many topics, and you're giving your valuable inputs with your experience as well. I think now we will move on to the next session.
Yes.
All right. Okay. This next session will be by the faculty members of Marian College, Kuttikkanam. The topic will be on case studies of OBE implementation. This will be taken combinedly by Reverend Senior Regina SABS, who is an assistant professor at PG Department of Computer Applications, Marian College, Kuttikkanam, who's got more than 10 years experience in teaching. She's also currently doing